Welcome to my messy life. Take my hand and dive right on in with me. It's gonna be alright. Messy imperfect life with Leigh.
Hi, Marsha.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
Marsha, could you tell me, is this right, Gleit?
Exactly. You got it.
It brings me a little joy to say your last name, Gleit. It's a G in front of the word light because I had a teacher named Mr. Cromer in 8th grade, and he walked with his pelvis forward, and his name, he would say, call me Glee. My name's Leigh, and he'd go, what, Glee? It's almost like he had some sort of a something in his mouth that he couldn't say L's quite right. So the whole year I'd hear Glee. But not only that, he would lean forward and his penis area would be kind of pushing on the back of my chair, and I would hear Glee, and I would just look right. I'm like, there's Mr. Cromer.
I love that.
How about that?
I love that.
Is that what is Gleit? That's kind of cool. It's like Glee and light combined.
It's a good question.
Do you know your heritage?
It's not my heritage, basically.
You're adopted?
No, it's my married name.
Oh, you don't need to know about that then.
No, no. And the kids ask all the time, what is it? I go, no, go ask your father.
Ask your father.
Because my name, my maiden name, is a mouthful.
It's a mouthful?
It's a mouthful. It's Sapsuits.
Sapsuits.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun to say. It's a whole bunch of S's, and you can kind of go.
Yeah. And that I know is Hungarian.
Okay.
See?
Fantastic. Well, I like you know yours.
I know my heritage. Yeah.
Yeah. I know a little bit my husband's, but whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're right. I kind of want to go into it, but no, I really don't want to go into it at all. Hi. So I just recently met Marsha, right?
We did.
At the thing in October?
In October, yeah.
October 2019. No, that hasn't happened yet.
No, October 2018, we met at Misty's event.
Oh, that's where I met you?
At first. And then we just met, we really got to know each other in April at
Craig's.
So
how was our meeting at Missy's event? Did we have much time or we just smiled?
No, we just smiled a lot. And
a lot?
A lot. And
where were you sitting? Because I was in the back.
I was almost in the front.
Okay. So would you turn around and look way back at me and smile, or just when you passed me?
When I passed you. Okay. And I liked your message and I liked your event. So I had signed up for your event. And I told you how excited I am to go to your event. We had a whole conversation about the Sportsman's Lodge, where it's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remind me what that conversation was.
Oh,
do you know I'm forgetful.
Well, it was very interesting because the Sportsman's Lodge was where I went to high holiday services.
Because you grew up where?
Because I grew up in New Jersey. I moved out here when I was 16 and a half. And lived
and a half is important.
It's really important. It is really important, right? Because it was halfway through the school year.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
At a really interesting time of your life, too, because that's when you're starting to find out who you are, but you're still feeling funky and insecure, not knowing what group you're really in. And then you get uprooted.
Yes. And it was very interesting because that's exactly what happened, was that my dad had gotten a great offer to go back to work for MGM. And they were out here now. He didn't want to go when they first moved out here when he was younger. And he came to the family and he goes, I got this great opportunity, right? And he goes, you're the one that's going to impact the most because you're in high school. Do you want to go? And I'm like, California? Wow. It's like awesome. And I said, yeah. And then we moved out here and I realized that's not so awesome. I'm like,
why wasn't it awesome?
Because I had just started dating my husband. My husband now. He wasn't my husband then, obviously. And
in Jersey.
And then we did a 5-year long distance relationship.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I didn't realize all that was going to happen. And it was really hard to leave at that point. And I was just becoming who I was in high school. I was popular and I was in my youth group and it was all like lining up. And then I'm like, now I'm leaving and I leave it all behind. And now it's so much easier to have a long distance relationship. But back in 1922,
you're writing letters.
Yeah, we were writing letters.
Do we have cell phones then?
No, we wrote letters and we only were able to call each other once a week because it was very expensive to make a long distance phone call.
Oh my
And it had to be
gosh.
after 11 o'clock at night. Yeah.
For the bill. Isn't
Yeah.
that a trip that the kids now only know this life?
Yes.
Our generation knows both sides.
Yes.
We had card catalogs and libraries.
Correct.
Our kids have a flick of a finger.
Exactly.
They can call each other at any time for no charge almost.
Right.
And we could send email. They can send emails, and we sent snail mail.
We sent letters. Yeah.
Isn't that a trip? Like,
Yeah.
I've already forgotten because I'm trying to be immersed in this with this
Right.
social branding and social media platforms and all that.
Exactly.
I forgot that was how I grew up.
That's how we grew up. We wrote letters every single night. So, and there was like so many times there was nothing to write. It was like, what did I do today? I got to brush my teeth.
You just draw a picture?
We both would get really involved in the music that we heard at the time. And you'd write music lyrics to each other.
Oh, that's sweet.
And we'd always,
I do that sometimes now. Yeah.
Our song was Hello Again. Neil Diamond's song. And every
how's
letter,
that go?
hello again, hello.
Oh, I thought it was hello again, naturally.
No.
Oh.
That's not our song.
Okay, how does it really go?
So it goes, hello again, hello. Just call
to let you know.
Yeah.
I think about you every night. Oh, those are great lyrics to write to each other.
Yeah. So we start every word off. Every letter was hello again. I mean, it's exactly what we did.
That's so sweet. Now nowadays they take pictures of their genitals and then they text it to each other, or Snapchats it.
Snapchat, because then it's gone.
And unless they screenshot it, and then it's not gone.
Oh, that's true. We don't want to do that.
That's what I found out.
Yeah, and you don't post that on Facebook. That's really bad.
But did you guys ever draw pictures of your vaginas or penises?
No, we did not do that.
I just wondered if back then, when you tried to sext, if it was in mail, you had to sketch.
No.
I guess we hadn't thought of that yet.
No, that was not what we did.
Okay. Are you upset that I asked that? Because you seem like to have kind of a downtrodden frown at me.
No, I kind of, just kind of didn't know where that came from.
I know.
But I'm good at that.
That's what happens in my area inside my ears.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I don't ever really know either. But the observer who witnesses what comes out of my mouth is very kind and loving. So,
and I just make a face. It's okay.
No, I think my observer probably makes a face.
That's what you like most about me is my faces.
Oh my gosh, let's get right into that, please. So we met not really at Missy's, meaning we didn't get to connect.
Right.
And then we went to this boot camp thing, this mastermind boot camp thing. And the first time I really noticed you was you were sitting directly behind me. And or had we already had that weird face thing that I
No, that was after. It was
okay.
I was sitting behind. I was throwing things at you.
Yeah, you were throwing things at me and I thought, who is this playful lassie behind me? I'm going to have a real good time with her. And then I turned around and it was you. And I was like, hi. And instantly felt a joy, even looking at you. And the faces that you make are like, so, I don't want to say sourpuss or stoic or how would you describe them? They're like, do one to the YouTube
do
people.
One to the YouTube people. I did the, huh?
Yeah. They're just subtle, but they're very filled with personality.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's not a lot going on, but there's so much going on.
But it says it all.
Yes, it says it all.
Yeah.
So
no words to describe.
You sat behind me and threw stuff at me, and then I was instantly in because I'm like a child with a squirrel focus. So I was like, oh, someone's playing. I'm so excited. Hi. I'm going to turn around and talk to you the whole time and miss the whole conference. I'm so excited. So that started. And then I think I stood up and you took pictures of me.
Yes.
And then texted to me. And then I was like, I like her more because I can never get enough snapshots of me.
Okay. Oh, you were talking to Libby, and I took a picture of you just talking to Libby.
3 of them in my love spreader sweatshirt.
Yeah.
There were 3. Because I remember looking through them going, this is so cute. Gosh. And Craig's behind me. What a great shot. So I didn't tell you that. I think it was a great shot.
Oh, I'm glad.
And I felt really special that you sent me pictures of me. Thank you.
Anytime.
So she kept gently building my love for her throughout the day with little, spit wads and photos.
I never spit. I was never a spit wad. Just want you to know.
Well, how did you make the things you were throwing at me?
I just took a piece of paper, rolled it up, and threw it at you,
Okay.
hoping that it would get there.
And it did.
It did. It was
because I was like a foot in front of you. We were sardined in there. I couldn't like walk through.
Yes.
So anyway, I really enjoyed you. And then we ended up at the bar and I was like, oh, there's that lady with the faces. And I sat down near you. I think I had a couple cocktails at the bar.
Yeah, we were talking.
And you were sitting with a group.
And you were telling me a story about a woman that you had a conversation with. And you thought that she had a sex change.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the whole conversation.
Oh, my gracious. So there's this woman I met at Missy's event.
Right.
Who looks very manly and she's ripped. And her voice sounds like a little bit kind of like a man as well. And she had really pretty hair and makeup on, but very masculine.
Right.
And I thought, oh, she's a transvestite. Not that I labeled her, but
right, it didn't matter.
I just thought that,
yeah.
Oh, wow. You know, she looks great in heels and has big muscles. Cool as shit. So I was just enjoying her and we had some talks and stuff. And then she said, I want to keep in touch with you. And she's a speaker. And so we were texting and I said something like, oh no, we got on a Zoom call just to chat face to face. And I was like, okay, so can I ask you something without, no, actually, I'm not even going to ask if it's okay if I ask it. Can I just ask you something that I'm curious about with your body? And she was like, you can ask me anything. And I go, do you still have your junk down there or did you have a full sex change into a woman? Because I see you have very, very nice
and I still to
breasts.
This day laugh because I can't believe you asked her that.
Oh, I always ask everyone, but everything I ask is on a foundation of love and curiosity, never make fun of or
right. No, absolutely.
So I felt comfortable asking her because we were having a nice conversation. I was like, all right, so just because I know your deal, just tell me one thing so I can let it go from my mind and I can be more present. Did you get that meat removed or is it still there? And she's like, I'm a woman. I go, what?
Oh, because somebody had told you that.
Oh yeah, that I got to say important. That somebody said that there's this really cool gal. She's a transvestite and she's doing great things. And I said, oh, how wonderful that she's out in the public eye and giving a voice to that population to stand up in who you are. I just was really moved by all of it. Then we become friends. And then she reaches out to me after she gave me her book that she wrote. And anyway, we're talking and she says, I'm a woman. And I go, I know you're a woman. I accept you as a woman. I'm calling you your woman name. I get that. But do you still have your junk? And she goes, no, I'm really a woman. I go, what? She goes, obviously you haven't read the book I gave you. And I was like, well, number one, you gave it 2 days ago. And number two, is it on audiobooks? She's like, no, it's not on Audible. And I go, okay. Anyway, she goes, if you turn to the second page, it's me as a little girl. I've always been a woman, little girl woman. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm so pissed. She goes, why? I go, because somebody told me you were a transvestite. So I was honoring what you've done and who you are. I would never have just said that had I not had that information to join in your movement. She's like, oh, no, that's not my movement. But my movement is having to overcome people thinking I am one.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I guess I got to support you in what started your movement this time. But I talk openly with people about who they are and there's no shame and there's no like, I know I shouldn't ask this, but fuck yes, we should ask.
Right.
Because
we need to know.
Yeah. And
it's like the bright, shiny object in the room that you're just going to keep looking at it until
and if that's her coming out to represent that population, let's freaking talk about it.
Right.
Well, that's not what she's doing.
No.
She's representing being a woman who has taken stuff for weightlifting, steroids or whatever they take. See it right here.
Right.
I just want you to see my side area.
Ooh.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
But she had just taken stuff. So anyway, yes, her. Why do we bring her? Oh, we're talking about her.
Because,
we were talking about that we had both met her.
Right.
And I was yelling at the person.
And you were telling me the story
that you're the person that told me that, and she's not. And that was very embarrassing for me. So have your facts straight to the other person.
Right.
And that's how we were talking about that.
Right.
And then
we were in the bar.
And
I said to you, Leigh, go over and take a look at this woman. I think we have another of the same issue that we were
it's
talking
not an
about.
issue.
No, but the same.
She said, I was trying to figure out if this woman's Pat, like from SNL, because we can't tell the sex.
Depending
what do you think
on
the sex
how
is?
she looked. Depending on how she turned her face.
So I just looked over at the gal and I said, that's like Tootsie. Like she looked to me like Tootsie or Mrs. Doubtfire, which was a man dressed like a woman.
Right.
But that was just from afar. And then we got back into other chit chat. just chatting about other stuff. So then a few minutes later, the woman passes with this other gal who was her sidekick. She was this young, like really. And I turned and I go, hi, goodbye, have a good night. And then her and I started getting into the discussion. Now, can I say that what was going on with you at the moment? They were,
we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that. So she was enjoying herself. Marsha was. I was having cocktails and Marsha was enjoying herself as well. And somebody passed by and I just start talking like I do to anyone, saying, hi, bye, have a good night. I hope you had a good day, whatever. And we started a dialogue. And she turns around in slow motion to see who I'm talking to. And then she turns around with her face like so puzzled.
I was very puzzled.
And you were like, you know her, Tootsie? And I said, no, I was just saying hi and being kind. And then you turn back around again. And then you turn around, your face was like, you couldn't get it.
I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know why you were talking to her. And like, because you had told me you didn't know her. And then I thought you did know her.
No, that's just
and
what I do.
And then all of a sudden she took a picture. And I'm like, no.
I took a picture because as I turned back to this beautiful orchestra of human faces, Tootsie was doing like almost a pose from like the Tootsie, from the poster. And then the girl next to her, her goofy girl, was doing the most goofy thing she could do, like her hands out, her ponytail flying sideways, and her eyes were rolled so back in her head that you could only see white. And in that moment, your face was still like, what in the hell is happening? So I had that with crazy excited face and then a pose from a poster. And I just grabbed my phone and shot the photo. And then I just put it away and kept talking.
And then I couldn't figure out, how could you take a picture when you're in the middle of talking to people?
No, but I didn't show it to you till later.
I know, but I couldn't figure that out later when you sent it. You're like,
oh.
I'm like, how did you take a picture of that when?
I think you were in some sort of perplexed state.
I was.
Where you kind of shut down from reality for about 30 seconds.
Nothing made any sense at that point.
But the weird thing is you held your face and her eyes rolled back.
It was creepy.
And Tootsie held the poster stance long enough for me to get out my camera, get the right setting and snap it. And then you all went back to normal life and they walked away and you were like, what just happened?
Exactly. And I'm like, and I still couldn't figure out, did you know her? And you kept saying no.
I just said hi.
And then the next day we were in a lunch at our thing.
I hope this isn't being mean to people or saying bad things.
And
Tootsie, I can't do it.
And Tootsie was at our table. Was at my table.
With me?
No, you were not there.
Oh, you were at a different table?
I was at a different table. And I looked up and we were talking right at lunch.
Of course, she was a lovely human being.
And she really was
And when you talked to her, she was a normal looking woman. But she was.
I'm still not sure about that, but yeah.
Well, how she was dressed at the time looked like a poster for Tootsie.
Yeah.
Or she actually looked just like Tootsie, actually, with the wig, his wig on and his glasses.
And then it ended up, she ended up looking like Barry Manilow.
Oh, so anyway, not laughing at that woman, laughing at the moment that that Marsha couldn't put together. She was talking about figuring out this person, and then all of a sudden I'm having a conversation, and she thought I didn't know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only care about it because I got the most amazing picture.
You did.
And I'm going to, when this podcast airs, I'm going to
post that picture. Oh my God.
Because it brought me joy. And it's one of those things that it's like when you want to laugh in church or times that it doesn't feel nice spirited. But when I look at the picture, it has nothing to do with any of the players in it. It's the moment that I captured with your face that made me laugh all day, and the disappearing to white eyeballs, and that woman in the position of the actual poster, which I think I put them side by side.
We did. Yeah. Because we had fun the next day with the pictures.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did a lot of times during the seminar.
Seminar was boring sometimes. We would just like start.
We would start texting each other.
Start texting
and that's what I love about Leigh. It's just that she has the same spirit that I have. It's like, just take this time and just laugh and have a good time, because it was just, you're not going to get that time back.
No, and I won't do anything if I can't have fun.
Me neither.
Anything.
No, I agree.
So I feel like you have to sit really quiet and be still. I went to speak at a prison, or not to speak at a prison, but I went to trio with prisoners in the federal penitentiary in for life. And I had a freaking blast, and we laughed our asses off, and I cried a ton, and it was the most fulfilling day.
Yeah.
But I went into this prison with this, with thoughts of heaviness, and was so delighted. I couldn't stop laughing with the guys. I mean, I had so much freaking fun.
And they probably had a great day too.
we had so much fun. And so I'm a big believer. I'm on the planet to enjoy myself.
Yes.
And if something does not light me up or I don't get to have fun or enjoy myself, I'm not interested in participating.
No, I totally agree with that.
Or I'll participate and make it fun.
Yeah.
Much to everyone's chagrin.
That's right.
on this podcast, I like to talk about the mess of life and what we've learned from it. And I would love to hear something in your life that has been messy for you, Marsha, where you learned something pretty freaking amazing.
You know, that actually, there's been so many messy things in my life, and I think in everybody's life, right? Because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, and that's how we develop into who we are. But the thing that really has been huge in my life right now was I always identified myself with my work. So it was my job, it was what I was doing, that's where my friends were, that's where my social life is, and I always found that that was my identity. And I started realizing that I hated going to work. So I would always say to people, look, I feel like a caged animal, and they'd be like, whatever, I'm going back to my cage. But at the same time, I felt like the ringleader in the Barnum and Bailey circus, right? You're trying to motivate these employees, and then you're trying to manage the owners, because it was a family-owned business. And I just was tired. I was tired. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to leave, right? And now I'm going to find happiness. And I say that on my road to happiness, I ran into self-care. People go, what does that mean? Well, it's my messy part of my life. So last August, I found myself.
Can I pause really quick before we jump out of the first part, because it's so poignant? The first part you said that you, what did you say? No, I'm kidding. The first part you said that you were looking outside of yourself for happiness.
Yeah.
And you were looking in it at that time, it was your career. Yeah. And then I just want to just point out that when we look outside of ourselves, if something shifts in that, we're lost.
Yes.
Okay, now go on, because talk about how you kind of got into the self-care business, realizing that that's the missing link to the happiness.
Yeah, definitely a missing link. So I found myself with a strep infection in my blood, so septic. And
how did that happen?
I had a blister on my toe that opened up, that got infected. That then
it can go so quick,
and it happens. It was so fast. Yeah, it was like over.
So it got in your toe and just spread up.
Yeah, the infection got
And you were septic, which means everything's so off kilter you can die from it because it's toxic.
Yeah, because it's in your blood. Now that infection's going through your blood. So I ended up in the hospital on heavy duty antibiotics, and when they went to look and they looked at the toe, they're like, it's gone. We have to get rid of it, and we don't know how many we're going to have to get rid of.
Oh my gosh, it's like frostbite.
Yeah. Because I had what they call osteomyelitis in the bone, an infection in the bone in this toe. And
when you looked down at your toe, could you see they're going to have to amputate this, or you thought it was just a really bad cut?
I thought it was like a really bad cut that they would be able to, a little bit of antibiotic cream and boom, off you go. And they're like, no, we don't think we can save it. And we don't know how many toes we can save.
How did you feel when you heard that?
It's like, it kind of shocks you straight a little bit. And I said, okay, whatever you got to do. What am I going to do? Well,
did you feel like, I'm so sick, do whatever you have to do to make me better? Or did you feel like, what's it going to be like living without power?
No, you know what? My attitude, and it's always fun and whatever kind of life. It's like, it's just another bump in the road. And so for me, it was like, I'd rather you take a toe than die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
and
like,
I can still walk with 7 toes.
And I asked that question, and they're like, yeah, you, as long as you have your big toe, you have your balance, and off you go. I'm like, okay.
Oh, no, neither were your big toe.
Well, neither of my big toe.
Oh, good.
No, yeah, it was all good. So, I said, okay, we'll do what you got to do. I just wanted to be out of the hospital. I just didn't like that whole thing. And said, okay, it was time to take care of my health. And I went on a really strict weight loss program and lost about 30 pounds. And 3 months later, we were in New York. We were spending the whole day with my son. That's where he lives now. And we walked around, we were doing all this stuff. And I got back to the hotel, and I'm like, I realized my toe had broke. And I saw
which one?
So now we're talking the
one next to the cutoff ones, but not the big toe.
The one next to the cutoff one, but not the big toe. And the bone was sticking through. And I'm like, oh my God, we have a problem, right? Because I had already been through this infection thing. And I'm like, and then, so my mind is
your
like.
Bone popped through your toe?
Yeah, my bone was coming through the skin. Yeah.
But when you were walking around, you didn't feel it?
Okay. No, didn't feel it. So I'm like, okay, we have a problem. And I'm like, okay, but let me think about this. I'm not going to the hospital tonight because I didn't want to be in New York City. And the next day we were going to my sister's house. And I'm like, I don't think my husband really wants to be at my sister's house if I'm going to be in the hospital for too long. And we're heading down to his sister's. It would be better. And I'm like figuring this all out. So we finally speak.
Oh my gosh, right? Your toes popping out saying, I'm about to take you downtown. And you're like, well, when should I address it?
Yeah, when should we say it? Yeah. And then we had plans the night with our really good friends. And I'm like, I really want to see them. So it's like, and I'm just like,
I can manage my toe.
I can manage my toe, right? So we get down, finally, we had a really nice time with my friends. And we get down to my husband's sister's house. And I'm like, hun, we have a problem. And I show him. He goes,
oh, you waited all the way to the sisters.
All the way. Oh,
your plan,
yeah.
You stuck with it.
Oh, yeah. I stuck with it. Because I didn't want to worry him, right? Yeah. I'm like, I think we have a problem. And he looks and he goes, holy, like he freaked out. He's like, of course we have a problem. Like, but we'll go tomorrow. Let's just go to sleep. And so we woke up in the morning, went to the hospital. Obviously I was admitted, and 7 days in the hospital in New Jersey. And they ended up having to amputate 2 more toes. So now it was 3 toes.
Why did it come back?
We don't know. We're not. That's
because you hadn't gotten the message yet.
I don't think I got the message yet.
That's why it came back.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, fine. I'm like, I'm healthy now, right? I'm eating healthy. But what I realized those 7 days in the hospital was, it's not about the job, and it wasn't about the weight, and it wasn't about how I looked. It was about me, that I wasn't taking care of me.
Yeah.
And I thought about it a lot and about self-care. Did a lot of research, and my biggest...
While you were in the hospital?
Yeah, because now I'm like...
You hadn't thought much about it before?
No.
But you started looking into it.
I started looking into it. I'm like, what's missing? Something, there's a piece missing. I don't know what it is.
And then how did you get to self-care? Did you type in what's missing if you are not happy and... or not fulfilled and you...
Because I heard it. I heard the term. The term was out there.
You heard
it.
It.
Self-care. I'm like, okay, what the hell does that mean? Because I always thought self-care in my mind was being selfish.
Yeah, getting massages and your toes painted. And
exactly, being selfish. And as a wife and a mother and a
it goes against all of the beliefs we hold for parenting.
Yeah, I'm a giver. I'm a fixer. I'm going to take care of everybody else. And that whole image, right, of the flight attendant saying, if we have a problem and the gas mask comes down, put the gas mask on you first and then on your children and the elderly, right? Take care of you first.
I've never heard the elderly part, but I've heard put your mask on first and then assist those who need assistance.
Yeah.
Have you actually heard them say elderly before?
I always think about the elderly because I actually travel with my mother.
Okay,
a lot.
That's what you hear.
That's what I hear.
Talk.
Yeah, but she's saying, and
you guys get your kids. I'm getting the elderly.
Right, I'm in charge of the elderly. You deal with the kids, right? Yeah, because my kids are older. They can put on their own gas mask now. Yeah. But it's really, it's oxygen mask, not the gas mask.
They can do that on their own.
They can do that on themselves too. Yeah. So, and that's where it all came from. And I said, okay, it's not selfish. It really is selfish. I mean, selfless. And I Googled that, selfish versus self-care. And when I read it, and it said, that's the idea, is that normally we use up all of the, you were talking to, I heard talking to a guest before about all the gas in the tank, right? And whatever's left of the gas in the tank after we do everything for everybody is what is left for ourselves. Versus saying, you know what, maybe take that 10 minutes a day or whatever is to take care of ourselves. Because there's more to self-care than getting your nails done, getting a massage. Right.
What does it mean for you, self-care?
So self-care is the balance of your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical being. So it's taking care of yourself emotionally, whether it's meditating, gratitude, it's your spiritual. Is there the universe or a higher power or a God in a lot of people's,
So you mentioned meditating first. What I love about meditating is that our bodies are breathed, our lungs breathe us. Mm-hmm. So we can live. and we don't have to think anything about it. Like, it's such a beautiful blessing.
Right.
And the moment we focus on the breath, we get out of our crazy as shit mind.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's such a double gift. It's like it brings us life and it gets us back to who we truly are by quieting this even for 2 minutes.
Right. But the interesting thing is, I was actually talking to my coach this morning, and she said to me, she goes, even before you can teach somebody to meditate, they have to take a couple minutes to just breathe. So
to be aware of their breath.
Yeah. So self-care is taking 2 or 3 really deep breaths in and then they exhale, that whole feeling of how to do that. Oxygenating the brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just interesting. Yeah.
Oxygenating the brain or quieting the brain.
Yeah.
It just quiets the brain, which I
Yeah.
love so much.
Yeah.
Because the brain is where the bad shit happens.
It is.
Where our spinning and our stories.
Exactly.
And they get
And
one little tired, like we're tired or feeling a little
Right.
down. It jumps on that and
Right.
beats the heck out of you.
And because we don't quiet our brain before we go to sleep, we don't sleep. When we don't sleep, then we don't have the energy. We haven't.
Yes.
There's so many things that just kind of.
Self-care is knowing your worth.
Yeah.
And knowing
that you're important.
That you matter.
You matter, yeah.
And that you are your worst critic or you are your best friend.
Exactly.
And to even the simple mindset of how would I treat someone I care dearly for, whether it was my child or a good friend or a husband, or you really connect. If you can just close your eyes and connect and think about somebody that you love so much just for a minute and feel that warmth that comes in your heart and realize that that's available for you every day.
That's right.
And that will fill you emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because it's lining you up with your true self. And our greatest self is in this area, far away from this.
Yes.
My website, it says, move from your head to your heart.
Yes. I love that.
As much as often, even when I'm freaking out or upset or I'm a little tired today, I'm just like, just go here. This is where the power is. This is where I'm tired. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you say your gut is where your decisions are made. Because it's a lot of times in your gut is that feeling that what it is you. So when you stop using this so much, looking at your heart and your gut.
Well, what I was going to say too, I thought about your gut. When you said, your dad said, I got a job and moved to California, you were like, I'm in. That was your gut. That was your initial reaction. And then when you were packing, your brain jumped in and said, you're screwing everything up. Why do you agree to this? You're going to lose the love of your life. You've just established yourself. You know what I mean? Right. All that chatter starts, but your initial gut, your freedom was, let's go.
Yeah.
Because you're an explorer.
Exactly.
You're a lover of life, and that matches that.
Mm-hmm.
And then your brain's like, you've ruined everything.
Exactly. You've made a mess of everything.
And you're like, no, I can still write lyrics and mail them. Ego.
I could do this.
So tell
me. We could do this, yeah.
Tell me how your life shifted after you laid in the bed for 7 days and read about self-care. What shifted? What did that look like after you started? How'd you practice? What'd you do?
So I started really paying attention to everything I was doing and what was going right in my business, what wasn't going right in my business, and who I was meeting and who I was allowing into my life and who I was associating with, and really where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I want to level up my life. And to level up your life means hanging with the people that think like you and act like you and have the attributes that you want in your life. And when you start hanging with people like that, you grow.
Yeah.
But you need to matter to yourself and realize that you're better than where you are to be able to do that.
Yeah. And I think as we level up and my leveling up is always here. It's not ever outside of me. So as this continues to level up and I continue more to practice self-care and self-love and acceptance and all that kind of stuff and surrender instead of fight. And as I do that more, my energy levels up and then I see a whole new playing field of people.
Yes.
And then at the same time, as I'm leveling up with intention, knowing exactly what I want, because I'm leveling up and moving forward, the universe brings me the people who can work with me to manifest.
Yeah, exactly.
What I want. So there's no working hard.
Right.
which I love so much. People think, especially for my generation and up, you work your ass off. You put your nose in it, you work and you push through and you get what you want and and no, that causes heart attacks and hypertension and illness. And that's the opposite of self-care, because when you're gentle here, what you see becomes gentle. When you're loving here, what you see becomes loving. When you level up here, who you see
that's right
shows up. It's so beautiful and simple and powerful.
Yes.
And relaxing.
It is. It is. And it's so funny because I love that the millennial generation.
What actual age is that, please?
They're the like the 23, 24-year-olds to the 35-year-olds. It's that whole generation that everybody looks at them and they go, oh my God, they're so selfish and they're so this and look what we did. Everybody wants an award. Everybody wants, and it's like, no. If you really look at them, because they are very hardworking, they just think differently than us. They don't believe success is the corner office. They believe success is working with the team and watching the company as a whole grow. And then there's the social impact of it. They want to give back. But they also want that work-life balance, that they want to have the ability to take care of themselves, eat right, go to the gym, go for a run. When they have families, they want to be a good mother or father. They want to be home. They understand the fact that both parents have to work. Both parents want to work.
But a lot of my generation's all that.
Yeah, but our generation, okay, and this is something that I've learned of it, is
our generation,
women,
me and you?
Yeah.
Okay. Not
women, right? Women believe, we were taught, oh, you can have it all. You can have a high-paying, high-powerful, work 80, 90 hours a week job, right? And you could be an amazing mother and wife, right?
No, I think I was still taught men bring home the bacon and women stay with the kids.
Really? See,
Well, because it was patterned for me. My father was a surgeon and my mother was locked behind her bedroom door, kind of home with the kids. And for me, I remember thinking, all I want to do is stay home and have kids. Because I was working in a job I hated. And when you were talking about your job, they'd walk in, they'd be, good morning, Leigh. I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really? Does anyone really want to be in here? Are we going to die in this room? What is happening? I couldn't take it when I was working in the office for 7 years. And then finally I met my husband. I was like, can I quit my job? He's like, no, I'm a not working actor right now. I was like, oh, okay. When we get married, can I quit? And he's like, no, like, why would you? And then when I was like, well, when we have a baby, can I quit? Because I just want to be a stay-at-home mom. That was my belief. Then I had a baby. He said, you can stay home. I have a job. I stayed 3 weeks. I was like, no, this isn't what I want.
Right.
I love that kid and I'll take care of it and I'll be here for it. But no, I need to be creative. And I started writing my only one-woman show. But it was just realizing I had a belief I wanted to stay home and be at Junior's side every day. I was like, no, something in me was burning to be creative. And I was suffocating in an office where I couldn't be.
Right.
I never had the freedom to be. And the moment I did, I was like, oh, wow, that belief I was holding I do want to be a mother and I do want to be married and all that, but there's more in me.
That's interesting because and I think we're probably about the same age. I don't think
I'm 53.
Yeah, I'm 54. Yeah, so we're the same age.
We're the same age.
So we're in the same generation.
Yeah, we are.
So
that's good to know because sometimes I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I believe that I could have this huge corporate career.
Who told you that?
I think I want to say my parents.
So your parents were working and
my dad was working and my mom was a stay-at-home mom for the most part, and then he actually lost his job and she had to go to work because somebody had to work. And once he was once he made it really big and he was on the finance side in the entertainment industry, she didn't have to work anymore.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So
they both stepped up. That was cool.
Yeah, they've been doing what they had to do.
But you saw women step up and work and kind of get in it.
Yeah, and we were raised, you're going to go to college, you're going to have a career and you're going to be independent.
So you were living to the stories that you were told when you were little.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like our parents tell stuff and we're like, all right. And we go out in the world with their backpack on. And then sometimes we're like, this doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
well, my parents told me that this is how it was going to be, but it didn't feel right.
Yeah. Don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I struggled with the higher up the ladder I went, the higher up in the organization, the more I started to travel. And the more I traveled, the more I realized I wasn't home. So I had a client in Dallas, right? And we worked right across the street from the airport. I would be on the 6:00 flight in the morning so that I could have lunch in Dallas and I could be home in time to put the kids to bed.
Wow.
Right? And that's what going up the corporate ladder looked like to me. So I was a vice president. What's next? I could be a CEO, a CFO. But what did that mean? More time on the road?
Yeah.
Because I was in a national company, a national division. And then the more bigger the clients and the more powerful the clients, and where they were calling you 24 hours a day. And it was just it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
you had this thing, I'm going to move up the corporate ladder and have a big career. And then you're up here like, I'm up here and I don't know where I am.
Yeah. But
where I am.
But I want to be a mom and I'm not fulfilling and I'm not being, so I wasn't good at anything. I wasn't.
Well, you were good if you're moving up the corporate ladder, but it wasn't in line with your purpose or your passion.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a burden and you're getting further and further away from the stuff you loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I said, I just want to stay at home. And I was there. I was like, no, I need to be creative too.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm going to move up the corporate ladder. And you're like, okay, I'm up the ladder at the almost very top. And I don't know where the hell I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what? What'd you do with that?
I said, I'm done. And I started a consulting business.
So that's ballsy.
Yeah.
You quit your big job and you stayed kind of in the same arena.
Yeah.
So you could have knowing the same
clients.
clients.
Same clients. The company I was working for became a client and I had some other clients from the whole real estate industries where I was in.
So you're a good entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I saw the real estate, market was about to crash. And I said, what's the first thing to go is consultants. I had worked for an insurance company that wanted me to join them forever, come on full time. So I did that. And I was a controller for them for 14 years. And you can't believe how fast 14 years goes.
I can actually.
Yeah. Before you knew, it was 14 years. And that's when that was about 2.5, 3 years ago. And that's when I said, oh my God.
So you did the same thing, but for yourself.
I did it for myself, and then I went to work for this company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I did that for like 14 years.
Oh, that was 14 years.
Yeah, and I was like, how much? I'm 50 years old. I'm like, holy crap!
How long after was this with the toes and the self-care? Where does that fit in this?
Okay,
picture?
So the toes and the self-care really is was only about 6 months ago.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. This past
August.
August.
The things that you're saying aren't supporting the self-care thing because you're not in touch with you yet.
But it was that's what I'm saying.
You're building up to it.
Yeah.
Going, enough already. I'm doing the same damn thing with with a different name.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it crashed by you getting sick.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Life is so beautiful that way. We keep trudging up a hill. And life is like, have you noticed you're trudging up a hill?
Yeah.
Because that's not why we're here. We're here to be happy and we're here to be fulfilled and we're here born with a purpose. And when you're walking up the wrong hill, you're fucking worn out.
Yeah.
And you're joyless.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden life goes, oh gosh, she's not getting up, walking 17 years up that hill. How can we knock her down? Oh, let's allow something to happen to her body that will slow her down and look at it.
Yeah.
And then that happened.
Yeah.
And then you kept going. You hadn't found the self-care yet.
Right.
Right? Because you kept going.
No,
and all of a sudden another toe's popping out.
Yeah.
And life was like, oh, I guess she needs some more lessons. Life isn't bad and they don't do things to us. They allow things to happen for our waking up and for our learning. So you have another toe pop out. So much so, and you prolonged it, that you're laid up 7 days and you're thinking, you had time to go, what am I doing?
Yeah. What am I doing?
My body's starting to fall apart. And I'm not happy with my career. And then what did you come with that? You started practicing self-care and then you got into who you are and what you want to do?
Yeah, so I was doing life coaching, and my life coaching that I had been doing for the last 2.5 years was still in business, and it was still helping companies, and it was still, just it still was that I'm done with it. I'm just not, it's not joyful. But what's joyful to me is working with people and really helping them understand how important this is. How important taking care of yourself is.
Are you doing that for regular people or for corporate or the business people?
So what I'm doing now, which I'm really excited about, is I'm doing it in the camp arena. So day camps, overnight camps for kids, right? We all send our kids to camp, right, in the summertime or during break, And what I came to understand is that I want to really impact people who impact people.
Yeah.
Okay, or impact people who impact kids, really. And I said, we're talking to a really good friend of mine who actually runs a camp in the summer.
In New Jersey?
Actually, in Chatsworth, right here.
Oh, here.
Yeah, she does a horse camp.
Oh,
so
neat.
She does horse lessons all year long, and then does a camp program in the summer. And we were talking, and we were just kind of going back and forth, and she's like, who really needs self-care are these camp directors, because they're so giving and giving and giving and giving, and they have nothing left for themselves.
Yeah.
And when I thought about that, I thought, and then what happens in the camp programs, right? They're expected to give and give and teach these counselors who are maybe in the 15 to 25 years old. And they don't know how to handle.
Who's they?
The counselors.
No, that you said they're supposed to teach the counselors. Who?
Yeah, the directors. So the directors are training and teaching counselors,
but they're just teaching them how the thing works, not about self-care and to keep them self-fueled.
Right. And then these counselors are supposed to be taking care of these kids for 8 hours a day.
Right.
Okay. And they have no fuel for the kids.
Yeah.
So what happens? They burn out halfway through the summer. So these directors now have these counselors who are burnt out. The directors are stressed and burned out, and then these poor,
a lot of burnout there at that fun summer camp.
Yeah, right. And then they say, "Oh wow, summer camp, amazing experience for your kids." I was going to say,
tell me about that summer camp, but now I'm not sure if everyone's burned out.
Yeah, so if you're somebody who's in the summer camp at the end of the summer, there's nothing left in the tank for any of these people. And I said, what better way to really impact people who impact kids is start with self-care for the directors, for them to understand that they need to take care of themselves. In the same time, teach and train.
So you're going into the camp and doing that?
I'm going into the camps and doing that.
If you ever want someone to help out, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Just because I grew up in sleepaway camp for a month. And I do think that the biggest impact is with the children.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, when you become an adult, you can talk at them.
Yes.
But until they're ready to hear it, they might have to have a toe come off. I mean, literally, when people told me stuff, it's like people told you about self-care, you couldn't hear it until you needed it.
Yes.
And I think it's the same thing. It's like kids are little sponges, and we can save kids from so much suffering, self-suffering, by teaching them a couple simple things. Like, even I want to tell kids that that there's stuff happening in their life, I know, that sucks and is embarrassing and hard, and they might hate or it doesn't feel safe or whatever. But just know that every single kid has something they go through.
Yes.
And it's usually given to them by the parent in some way, whether it's neglect or abuse or bad information, whatever. And the kid has to grow up and overcome that. And that's what, and if you don't overcome it, you sleepwalk until you die.
Right.
But if you realize there's things that are happening for your learning and for you to learn from and propel from, that can empower them, that knowing, wait, this isn't going to be like this forever. I have a different point of view instead of being a victim, or even saying one day you're a victim because you can't leave your parent, but one day you can leave them, and it's going to empower you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a victim of the circumstance your whole life.
Absolutely.
And I just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So so I mean, if you could teach a child how important it is to breathe every morning when they get out of bed, right? The first thing you do is take a couple of deep breaths.
Yeah.
To understand.
And to plant the seeds, how amazing they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because they're breathing.
Exactly.
That they're purposefully here right now on this planet, on this tiny speck of dust floating through a million galaxies.
Exactly. So one of the things that I'm thinking about putting in as part of my program is a challenge, like a 30-day challenge or a certain number challenge, right? However long the camp period is, where you take 7 elements of self-care, right? Maybe having them do a gratitude journal and have them do breathing exercises, and
each day give them a different tool.
Yeah, or we do having to hit those 7 elements every single day. If you hit those 7 elements every day, each person in your bunk at the end of the period, bunk against bunk, who of those kids,
who's a better meditator? Let me see who sits more still.
Yeah, but it's a little bit about competition.
Yeah,
but to understand that it's important to hydrate. It's important to drink 8 ounces, eight ounce glasses.
So it's making
of water
important, simple information fun.
Yeah.
And I just love presenting things in a fun way.
Exactly.
And in a way that you can say fart or poop or pee or, you know what, I'm not meaning that you have to say those words, but you can talk their language and you can understand and you can be playful and you can have fun. But if you stand up there and you say, you need to drink water.
Yeah.
They're like, how much longer until this weird robot lady gets the hell out of here so we can go run wild?
Right. And you can't tell a child, right, you need to practice self-care. Right. But if you teach them that you really should drink, 6 glasses of water a day.
Why?
Yeah. Right.
Well, I'm asking you like a kid. Why? I want to go play. What are you talking about?
Right.
Then what do you say then?
You say, well, it's really a matter of, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah, because how you said it to me was not fun or exciting just now.
Right.
You said it like a big professional, like,
yeah, I
work for the water company. It's really important to hydrate. But you are a very funny person.
Yes.
And you're not being funny right now. So could you step it up a notch?
Stop being serious and be more funny. Like that look.
But don't you bring it?
No, but I love that. It's like,
but
why?
Don't you bring funny? Like if you told me you need to drink water, I'd say,
why?
Blow smoke out your ass.
Right.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me something that's funny and tangible and fun and why it would benefit me.
Yeah.
Make me stand up and jump for 5 minutes and tell me what I just did to my heart and how it affected my brain.
Exactly.
Make me, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Walk up to someone and stare them in the eye and smile and realize how powerful that connection is.
Yeah.
And that I couldn't even believe today when I was walking, people had on their AirPods. I always call them earpods. My kids all yell at me, AirPods or whatever. And they have so it's like we have gone from here looking in libraries and phone books and mailing letters and
right.
talking to people because we have no other way to communicate to we have every other way to communicate. And now we have things that just get stuck in there so you can't even hear a damn thing.
Right.
So everyone I passed had those in and I was smiling at people the whole time anyway, but I was like, wow, the world keeps evolving in such a rapid way that soon we're going to have glasses on too, where we can see where we're going, but we're also watching a movie or our favorite story or our favorite podcast. So we don't have to see anyone. Like right now, we don't have to hear anyone and our heads are down and people are already getting back problems and hunch over problems and what, that they've never seen before because our kids are looking down. And I told them the good shit is when you look up. The magic is when you look up. When you spend your time in a make-believe world, you're in a make-believe world. This is where life is happening and looking down, you're missing it. They're like, please get out of my room. I'm like, all right.
No, yeah, true.
I say, all right. I want to plant a seed, baby. And one day you're going to want to pull that seed out and grow that seed. So I'm just planting stuff, but keep me out of your room. Just don't call me a bad name. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What's true?
No, it's true. The environment that we live in.
Yeah.
It's look up, because I know when I run, I have my earphones in listening to music because that makes the running more fun.
Yeah. I listened to a book today, The Surrender Experiment. It's freaking kick-ass, man. Boy, you talk about leveling up, read that book or listen to it when you're walking as opposed to music, or listen to it halfway walking and then music at the rest of the way. Because this morning I did a book and I stopped for a little meditation and I was like, screw it, I'm going to give myself a mindless treat. But it wasn't mindless because it filled me with joy. I just put on my favorite music and I listen to music. But normally I try and educate myself when I'm walking. I don't know.
Well, I've been doing this. I've been training to do a 5K. It's something that I always wanted to do that I've just never.
That's awesome.
Never did. So I did this app, Couch to 5K.
Darling.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 9 weeks. You're supposed to be able to run a 5K. I can't figure out how that's going to happen.
What week are you on?
I'm on week 7.
Are you running?
I'm running.
How far do you get?
I am only at 2.2 miles.
Oh, dude, you're almost there.
I have another mile to go.
No, you're already there. Here's why. When you get there, you're going to have adrenaline like you never imagined, and you're going to be on pace with everyone else.
Okay, cool.
You already got it.
All right, cool.
So at week 7, you're already at 9.
All right, I'm good.
And then you can just tell yourself, I freaking got this. I can do this in this kind of boring way, but when I'm surrounded with other people's energy,
they can do it. Yeah. Well, I train with this the little mascot guy that's on my app. His name is Runicam, and he's a unicorn.
I love unicorns.
Yeah, and he just cracks me up because he's like, you get halfway through the workout, he goes, "You're halfway there," and you're like, "No, I still got another." He's so cute. And then it's like another 10 minutes in, he's like, "You got this. We can do it."
I think that's all cute, except that you're halfway there, because I sure as hell don't want to be reminded I'm huffing and puffing. I want to vomit. And I'm only
halfway there. I kind of like it because I'm like, okay, I'm halfway there. Now I can run home.
I would like it if they say you're 3/4 of the way there. You only have a quarter left. Then I go, yes. But halfway through, I'm like, oh, I thought I was already coming down the peak.
I'm just happy when he says I'm halfway there because then I can run home.
Oh, because it makes you.
Yeah, it makes me like.
It's a relief for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have to go any further. I can go home because I'm halfway there. But
yeah,
then
I turn around to go home now.
But then I learned that I run home slower than I run out, and I never get home within the half, like that other half.
Yeah.
So I always find myself like,
well, that's when you're going to find the energy of the people around you.
And then I'm texting because my daughter will she's like my accountability partner here, and I'll text her and I'm like, shoot, I'm at the corner of blah blah blah, and I'm done. Now I got to go home, right? And it's like, what the hell?
I don't understand that. You're done at a corner, but aren't you done when you make it home?
Well, I'm done because I did my Couch to 5K workout.
Oh, I see.
But I'm not home.
Oh, you got to time that better.
Yeah.
You got to find the point that when he says you're halfway there, you're headed back home.
Yeah, you turn around, but you're slower going home. For some reason, I run and I can't figure out how not.
So run one time to the point where he says it. Look where you are.
That's right.
Look exactly where you are. And the next time, before that place comes up, start heading home.
Heading home, yeah.
And then he's going to say, you're halfway home. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm actually closer to home than you think, unicorn. But I'm going slower. See, just outsmart that GD unicorn.
I know, right?
Just take the matters into your own hands. Well, I'm proud of you for running.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm proud of you for finally getting the message of self-care and the importance of it and helping other people, especially children, learn it. And remember that if you don't get the lesson, it keeps coming back. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So now every time something knocks me over the head, I hold my stomach and breathe heavy and then cry a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, what are you here to teach me? Let me get in it.
That's right.
And let me experience all of it. Let me sit in it. Let me feel it. Let me feel everything I can from the experience. And then as I pass through the other side, let me start being awake to what my learning was. Or I actually ask that first as I enter it, because then it's an experience where a tidal wave came, but I'm already putting back together the boat and I'm going to navigate it in a more powerful way when the storm's over. So it's using it for fuel. And I think that's what you did. You used your knock on your ass and your layup for fuel to come back to you. And self-care connects, I think, who we really are, which is a powerful beyond measure and directly connected to God. And each of us are made in the likeness of God, or the kingdom of God is inside of us. When we quiet this crazy ass shit and allow ourselves to connect to it, it's like, and self-care feeds that connection. And that connection feeds self-care. So it's amazing. And then we can be, I can't put my arm all the way up because of my torn rotator cuff, but then we can make a strong muscle and go, ooh, is that a pop or was that my?
And then you could take steroids.
And then we could maybe have people wonder about me.
There you go. Come full circle.
I don't think it was steroids, though. I think it was Is that what they take? Oh, no, steroids.
No, they do take
Oh, it's steroids for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're back to that.
We are. We've come full circle.
Congratulations on what's the name of your company?
It's Virgin Coaching.
Why is it called that? That's not either of your names.
No, it's not.
It should be Gleit Coaching.
Well, I'm actually in the process of rebranding.
Yeah, use your name.
And it's going to be MG Coaching Group is my new name because it's who my brand is me. That's what I'm selling. But I was just very, very.
But are you MG? Is that how people call you? Is that they call you? Because that doesn't represent your brand to me, MG.
No. Just my initials.
I love that Gleit business because it has light in it, but it's just a little bit off.
It's because you're Glee.
Wait, what? Glee? Where's his penis? Oh, it's Mr. Cromer. Where is what about Gleit Coaching Group or whatever you're called? The other part of it.
You like that better?
Yeah, I like Gleit or Marsha.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just Leigh because that's.
But I like Leigh.
I like Leigh too, and I kind of feel like Cher, Madonna, no big deal.
Right.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, they're here for the people of the town they call gypsies, tramps, and thieves. Every night when the men would come around. Do you know that?
I do.
Why aren't you singing it with me? You're from my generation.
It'll lay the money down.
Will we try that again where you actually sing?
No.
Oh, okay. So check out, how do they check out your coaching stuff? Even though you're rebranding, but how do they find you right now?
Virgin Coaching, BURGEON coaching.com.
Virgin coaching.com. If you want to find out how to self-care yourself.
Yeah, and then go ahead there and I do a 40-minute initial complimentary consultation to learn about what's the messy stuff going on in your life and how we
that's my stuff.
No, I don't do that. I don't do messy
you just said
stuff.
You did what's your mess and what do we learn from it? No.
Yeah, no. I do
self-care. Okay,
coaching.
we just really need to be clear.
We are, because if you're messy, you go to Leigh.
If you need to learn to embrace your mess and not hide it and use it to fuel you for success and power, come to me.
Yes.
And if you want to get down to who you really are and connect your true self so you can propel in a purposeful way.
That's right. You come
up
to me.
The corporate ladder that you
when
create.
When you're ready to fly like a bird, you come to me.
There's not a song that says
no,
that.
I don't know that
Why
song.
don't you sing something? Didn't you sing
I
once?
did. I sang my song. Hello again. Hello.
All right.
So.
Okay,
now
you guys.
we can say goodbye to Hollywood if you want.
Okay, how?
Say goodbye to
Hollywood. Say goodbye, my baby. Say goodbye to Hollywood. Say goodbye, my baby. I love you, Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a guest.
I'm
happy that we met just a minute ago and you made me smile and your ass is sitting next to me right now. I like that.
Okay, I like that too.
And I like to learning more about you and what you do.
I appreciate it.
And now back to me, if you would, for a moment. Please come to my, please, baby, please. Do you know that one?
I do.
Come to my,
because we're the same age.
I was his song, it was our song, it was. All right, whatever. So anyway, you guys, October 18th, come to my Messy and Perfect Life workshop to work the 10 steps to unleash your mess and use it as a source for good and as a source for money.
And I'll be there.
Oh, yay! I forgot that. See, I'm so forgetful. I'm so in the moment. And then, you told that 20 minutes ago.
I reminded you. Yay! It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be
excited.
awesome. I'm so excited too. I'm so happy you're going to be there.
Yeah.
So join me for that. If you are watching this, subscribe to my podcast, Messy and Perfect Life with Leigh, and whatever else you can do to support me and build my empire. Thank you guys. Have a great day. And can I hug you? I love you.
Absolutely. You can hug me.
Don't turn it off before my hug. Don't. Oh, Marsha.